Put your hands together. Welcome to the stage, Aiden Lonergan.
Hello, you all right? Dad? Worth a shot, wasn't it? No, like on it. Thanks for your concern, everyone. But no, honestly, it's my dad's birthday today, right? It is my dad's birthday today, and I rung him earlier. I went, "Oh, you're right, Dad. Happy birthday. You doing anything tonight?" And he went, "Nah." I went, "Do you want to come see me do comedy?" And he went, "Nah." So it's good. It reminds me actually when I was in year 6, right? I was cast in our school play. I was 11 years old and I was cast in The Lion King as Scar, and I was buzzing about it, right? I went home. Went to my mum and dad and was like, "Mum, Dad, I've just been cast in The Lion King as Scar. You've got to come see it." And they were like, "Oh, The Lion King." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And they went, "Oh, we've seen it." Good luck, though. And then they sent me off. How are you doing, Mark? Is it Mark over there? Yeah? Because my dad, like, I'm from an Irish family as well, and he sounds just like you. Like, I'll say, you know, someone will ask, like, "Oh, what's your name?" And I go, "Mer." And his name's Patrick. So it's a bit weird, isn't it, to be honest? But yeah, it's good to be here in Brighton. I was actually stopped by some Mormons on the way here, who they wanted to talk to me about God. Apparently, I give off a vibe of desperately needs divine intervention. And they came up to me. They wanted to talk about God, and they were. I was feeling a bit mischievous, a bit prankish. So I said, "Show me a picture of God, then." And they did. They pulled out this kind of artistic impression of God, and he had long, luscious locks, washboard abs. He was quite fit, basically, God, which is something they don't really go into in the Bible. But they were stood there, you know, they're going, "This the Heavenly Father, blessed Heavenly Father." And I was like, "Heavenly Father? More like Heavenly Daddy." Second coming, stop, no. Nah. But speaking of daddy issues, I've been spending a lot of time at Games Workshop recently. Playing Dungeons & Dragons, that kind of thing. Do we know Games Workshop, yeah? Yeah, nice. You get, like, if you don't know it, like, you get little, like, models of goblins and you make them fight. It's a proper, like, alpha spot there. Like, it's proper, like, lads there, man. Except, of course, when we're there, we go, lords instead. But it's nice, because, like, it's nice spending time with some of these people before they've gone to form very substantial roles in Netflix documentaries. Because they do. But it's also a bit of a self-preservation technique as well, because I'm a teacher. I'm as surprised as you are. But it's all right, though, because I'm one of those cool teachers, you know, like my students are always like, "Oh, so you're so cool, man. You're so cool." And they're like, "Yeah, you don't make us do much work. You never give us homework. Don't give us detention." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, thank you. It's because I don't care about you." But it is a bit of a self-preservation technique going to Games Workshop, because, you know, sometimes the people there, not all the time, but sometimes, they make a bad decision, they take a bad route, and they do bad things. And schools are a big target, aren't they? I'm thinking one day, one of them from Games Workshop's going to bust open my classroom with their, like, nunchucks or whatever. And I'll be like, mate, it's me. It's Norlak the Orc Bard. We slayed the Spider Queen together. I sung to you with my lute. And then when he's getting really emotional, I'll pull out my nunchucks and just twat it and finish him off. It'll be good. I feel like I've connected with you all a bit, so I'm going to open up if that's all right. I only ask to open up because it annoys me when people don't ask and they just open up. Like, it's selfish, isn't it? Like, the other day, I had this bloke, he just randomly started telling me, like, oh, my wife's left, she took the kids. And I was just sat there thinking, I've paid for this therapy session. This is meant to be about me. But yeah, I'm going to open up if that's all right. I am having some lady problems at the moment. Thank you. There we go, thanks. Yeah, I'm having some lady problems. My nan's being a prick, right? So, like... no, she's still alive. But basically, like, long story like, I live with her at the moment because I'm successful. And, like, long story short, she keeps ruining the ending of World War II documentaries for me. Because that's the thing with wars, right? I don't really watch them when they're on. I just kind of wait for the highlights reel, I suppose. And, she'll pipe up and she'll be like, oh, I remember. And I'm like, I don't. I'm like, shut up, Nan. And we're kind of at loggerheads a bit. We were arguing loads. And I was like, how can I get back on a level with Nan? How can we bond over something? I was like, maybe I can tell her something about me that she doesn't know. And it'll sort of spark a discussion. So I sat her down one day and I said, Nan, I'm pansexual. And for those of you that don't know, pansexual means... Not fussy, exactly. Yeah, not fussy at all. Not fussy. Life's an all-you-can-eat buffet and I'm feasting. No, it's great. It's amazing. But, she's old and she's from the countryside. So I say, Nan, I'm pansexual, and she just hears part gay. Right, because she's old and she's from the countryside. She hasn't heard of these progressive liberal ideas like sexual identity or public transport or anything like that. So I say to her, Nan, I'm pansexual, and she just looks deep in my eyes, smiles, and goes, oh, I love Elton John. I love George Michael. She starts listing successful gay men. Right, I love George Michael. I love his music. Did I want a tea towel with his face on, hand embroidered with the words R.I.P. my king? Yeah. So me and Nan are back on good terms. It's all good in Nana Lonergan's household. It's all fine. But I have been trying to be a bit more independent recently, so I've been spending more time in my room watching films. And I've been going through the DVD collection. We don't have Netflix at the moment because our internet service provider cut off our internet. All right? They took umbrage with my last 3 web searches, which were plane hijackings, is Mary Berry still alive? And where does Mary Berry live? It's all for screenwriting purposes. Like, I'm a screenwriter, it's all research. Because my next film is about a jihadist extremist that defects from their cause to chase their passion of baking. It's called ISIS to Icing. I can tell you like that one so you can have another one. Cakes on a plane. But like, what's weird though is that I've been going through all these old movies, and it's made me realise you couldn't really remake some of them now with like modern dialogue or modern sensibilities, because they'd just be crap, wouldn't they? Like, you'd have like, imagine if you remade the first Willy Wonka now. Like, they'd be like, oh, Charlie Bucket, you found Willy Wonka's last golden ticket. How do you feel? And Charlie would go, I just kind of like manifested it. Like, that's crap, isn't it? That's absolutely pants. Or like Sherlock Holmes, they'd be like, Sherlock, what have you found out about the victim? And he'd be like, well, he's a Sagittarius rising, so he's kind of asking for it. Like, that's all crap, isn't it? I don't want it. But my favourite film is Back to the Future. It's my favourite one of all time. Yeah, any fans in Back to the Future? Yeah? I love it, and it's instilled within me a great desire to time travel, right? And people have these grand ideas about what they could do if they could time travel. Like, they'd go back and they'd avert a disaster, or they'd, twat baby Hitler before going to do Hitler things. I've got tamer expectations. Like, I go back to the year 1600 with a Kinder Bueno and just be like, have a go on that, mate. Like, they'd lose their mind, wouldn't they? They would lose their mind. Can you imagine giving a cream egg to a Victorian chimney sweep? Like, things get better, mate. Go, like, up you go. They'd lose their mind. Or, actually, just thought of this. Like, I reckon I'd do stuff that has no downsides, will benefit everyone. Like, I would go back to when Birmingham was first being formed and be like, pack it in. No point. No point at all. Yeah, what else can I tell you about? I'm getting a bit more confident, like telling people that I'm trying to do stand-up, you know, telling people I'm a comedian. I've realised people's reactions are always the same, right? I'll say like, oh, yeah, I do stand-up. And they'll go like, go on then, tell me a joke. Make me laugh then, like straight away. And it's made me realise it's the only job you're immediately required to demonstrate what you do, to like prove it. And I was thinking like, if I went up to people and was like, I'm a politician, would they be like, go on then, do a scandal? Or if I was like, oh, I'm a boxer, would they be like, go on then, batter me? Like, where does it end? Or if I was like, I'm a member of the royal family, would they be like... Nah, leave that one, I reckon, to be honest. Whatever you thought was the punchline. Well done. Well done. As you can probably tell, I'm quite socially awkward. Quite a socially awkward person. I often leave social situations before I'm allowed to, or I say the wrong things, you know, and some people have said that there might be some neurodivergence going on. I think I might just be a dickhead though, innit? Like, I don't know. But like, even my therapist was like, oh yeah, it seems like you might have ADHD or ASC. I think I just serve CUNT, and that's fine. Like, I'm happy to do it. I'm absolutely happy to do it. I think I've got to go quite shortly, but I don't want to leave you with nothing. So, you know, like many of the comedians on this evening, and maybe like some of you lovely audience members as well, I was surprised and disappointed to wake up this morning. You know what I love about that bit is because I do it and people clap, and you're basically clapping for me to kill myself, which is great. But I did wake up to I did wake up to a nice quote which I want to share with you, and it's from Dr. Seuss, and it's you never truly know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. I think that's quite sweet, isn't it? Yeah. So with that in mind, forget this. You've all been absolutely wonderful. You've got a great night ahead. Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Excellent stuff. One more time, Aiden Lonergan. Okay, we do 2 acts in this section. Stay where you are, Mike. There's 2 acts.